recorded on the computer. So I hope you all welcome to week 11 of football. Had my first losing week last week and Owens but we're still up 30 plus units for the month. So that's why bankroll management. I lost 2 games by half a point in the over unders yesterday. Pacers opened up at 227 and a half. I got them at 225 and it ended at 226. And I was like, that's lovely. Vegas definitely probably won some money on that. But yeah, I gave a Qatar pick. Oh, I didn't talk about my tinfoil hat in the free chat. So I'll post that now that we're on here. But yeah, if you
is
want
that
to
the one with the guitar? Yeah. I mean,
if you want to go
the
ahead.
game already started.
Yeah, they started. So yeah, if you want to go ahead, Sam, and we can do. They started at 11.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I'll definitely start. I'll definitely start it up with a couple of picks. I've one big pick and then a couple of other supplementary ones. I'll start with the supplementary one, and that's the Bills minus 7.5. And I'm taking that because I'm taking 7.5, not 7. I want the better odds because 23 of the Bills' 30 wins in the past 3 years in the regular season have been by 10 points or more. The Browns are also now the worst defense in the NFL and the second worst passing defense. They've given up points all over the place so far. One thing I am a bit worried about with this matchup is Nick Chubb. So I would definitely look for his props and his over, as he's been killing it recently. And the Bills' run defense hasn't been good the past 3 weeks. So I would definitely look to target some Chubb props. But outside of that, I like the Bills to really get on a roll here. The Browns' defense is really bad. I don't really think Jacoby Brissett will succeed against this Bills defense. And one of my favorite things to look at when betting a team is always if you can make an offense one-dimensional. Okay, so give me the Bills minus 7.5.
I'm having a really hard time with this game. I'm not betting it because I've already put a lot of money on the under. I got the under at like 42 and a half. I got it at 40
when it was all the
and a
snow.
half. And I bet on Wednesday or Thursday, I want to say.
Did they void it for you?
No, they haven't yet. DraftKings voided it for. I've had a 5 or 6 email back and forth, and they're like, "We're looking into it. We submitted your claim. Let us." And so I messaged them yesterday. I was like, "Hey, have I got my?" I was like, "I bet with you
What if it
this.
ends up
This is
hitting,
messing up my bankroll. What do I do?" And they're like, "Well, we've submitted your request. Check back with us on Sunday." I messaged him at 1 this morning. I was like, "Hey, it's Sunday. Where's my thing at?" I slept, woke up at 9, messaged him again at 9, and I still haven't heard anything. So,
what if it just ends up hitting though? What if the game's like 14-13 in the favor of the Bills and they win?
I mean, just because I asked for my refund,
and then they finally void your bet once it's hit.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's the thing is, even if it hits, I won't ask for my money back because I have already asked him to void it. So I just want money to be able to bet with today.
Exactly.
Because like obviously with the units, and I put probably 5 or 6 units on that under.
What?
Yeah, it was, dude, those games. Did you 2000 look up 2017 Colts versus Browns, or was it 2014? The exact same thing.
I'm not saying it was a bad pick. I'm saying 5 and 6 for you is pretty crazy.
Right. And so that's the thing is
okay.
I look at all the weather. This is a huge implication for next week's game because the Bills are playing at the Lions next week. So I don't know why they chose the Lions Stadium for the Bills, just because it's just like back to back. So they're gonna know they're gonna have the exact same routine. So I'm looking forward to next week's game for the Bills. Again, I'm staying away from this and hope I get my money back. If it ends in 14-13, I'm gonna be upset. Yes, because I would have won quite a bit of money. I have a few same game parlays and everything on there. But it's just kind of reminiscent of the Colts. And what's crazy is Jacoby Brissett played in that game and it ended like I think it was like 12-10 or something. It went to overtime and it still was under 21, 22 points.
Yeah. All
But
right.
yeah,
So
I
not
mean,
on
obviously
that
the
game.
Bills are good. The Browns aren't that good, but I'm staying away just because
Nice.
my bet is to get my money back.
Yeah,
So
that's true. All right. Next game. I really don't like that I'm doing this. Um, but my gut points me towards it. I think this is like the thing that has lost me the most money in NFL. I would be up so much more if it wasn't for the Indianapolis Colts. I've lost 2 5-unit plays because of the Indianapolis Colts. I hate the
that's
Colts. I hate them
insane.
with every single bone in my body. And I'm gonna fade them again today. I think a lot of people are overreacting to the to last week. I mean, yeah, the Eagles defense threw a dud against the Commanders, and the Colts beat the Raiders, who are still a pretty poverty organization and just poverty team in general. They're not a well-built roster and they never were. So I'm gonna look to the Eagles here in this game. I mean, a lot of people are looking at the run game. They're saying that Jonathan Taylor should be able to take advantage of a weak Eagles run defense, but the Eagles run defense has been bad because it hasn't been healthy. If you look at it at the beginning of the season, it was really good, but then once Jordan Davis was out, that like he's like huge. How isn't he like 300 pounds or something like that?
Yeah.
He got a run stopper, especially with a guy like Jonathan Taylor who uses a lot of his power to break those first round of tackles. Um, to break those first round of tackles. It's kind of difficult for the Colts run game to get going. The Eagles also rank first in DVOA pass defense, and that means the Colts offense won't really be as well or won't do as well. The Colts O line was better last game. Quentin Nelson, who was mediocre, had his best PFF grade.
Okay.
He was mediocre this season. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, the
Like,
season. I thought you're saying like mediocre as a
no,
player. I was like,
no,
he's
God, he's
like
one of the
the
best.
best offensive lineman in the league.
No,
But
he's
yeah,
very
he has had a bad
no.
year.
Jason Kelsey is Jason Kelsey is.
Got you.
Um, Quentin Nelson though has mediocre this season, but had a really good game against the Raiders. If he continues that, then they definitely have a chance in this game. Um, Plus the Colts and the Eagles have a huge difference in turnover margin. This actually doesn't help my pick, but the Eagles are plus 13 in turnover margin, while the Colts are -9. So that's a pretty big difference. And I think that's a big reason a lot of people are taking the Colts. The Eagles are due for some regression, but I don't think it happens this game. The Colts defense has been pretty good, but I think the Eagles will come away with this one. They'll force the Colts to be one-dimensional, and I think this is a game where the Eagles can come back. I like the Eagles to cover 6.5.
So I've been saying it all year. The Eagles are the Pittsburgh Steelers of last year. They've had a pretty easy schedule. I posted that
Yeah.
timeline my brother sent me, and I'll have to look for that and post it again. They beat a lot of teams on their backup running back, backup quarterbacks. Um,
Yeah.
that and then it's always hard to get your first loss. So now that they have felt that, yes, some people can say this is a comeback game. The Colts, they had an inspiring win last week, but the Raiders aren't that good. I wish I faded. I don't know why when you said you're fading the Colts, I don't know why I didn't bet them because you are 0-3, about to
Yeah.
be 0-4.
No, more 0-3. I think I'm going 4 or 5. Something like
Yeah, I
that.
guess on every Colts win, you faded.
And also I like on all their losses, I like bet them too. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I think I maybe won like one bet on the Colts all season.
Yeah. So there's a question in the chat. Glenda asked, "Do you need to be this deep?" No. So I love sports. Sam loves sports. Um,
Did you
well,
misunderstand? I think she's saying you need to like understand the sport
yeah,
to
no.
bet.
So basically, you just need to understand the basics of betting and how we bet with units and everything. So
Yeah.
if you want to message us afterwards, we have Sam wrote up something in our VIP chat. I don't even know, you don't have to be VIP to access that, do
No,
you?
no, no. There's the one that's if you want to be a sports bettor yourself, you need it like if you want to like learn some of the strategies and stuff, then that's a different thing. But we have our getting started page, like how to use units, how to
tail our
has
picks, follow
yeah,
our
has all
picks.
that stuff, like all the really basic things. You can just read a quick doc on it, and then you can just take one of our picks or look into the investment pool. So either those options are
Oh yeah,
fine.
so Sam also has an investment pool where basic
Yeah,
again you just message him afterwards if
message
you're
me, and it's
interested.
like some details involved in it. So yeah, um,
But yeah, so going back to the Colts, we are at home. Jeff Saturday's in the Ring of Honor. He's beloved here in Indianapolis. Everyone loves him.
yeah,
He's going back to old school hardcore. He had the Colts practice outside this week.
yeah. I didn't even
And
realize he'd have any coaching experience before
yeah,
this.
high school. He's coached like 1 year of high school football.
Nuts. That's nuts.
So the Colts are being investigated into that hiring. I think they're going to be able to get around it because he's an intern. It's not a official hire.
Why
Um,
would it be an
but
investigation?
because of the new law for diversity, because you have to look at so many specific
Oh,
coaches.
after the Brian Flores thing. Is
Yeah.
that Brian Flores?
Um, But yeah, I mean, he's just an old school. He's a center offensive lineman. He's going to pound the ball down and Dominican Sue's throat. I don't know if the over of Jonathan Taylor's going to hit, but I think they're going to run and run and run some more.
And I
Um,
think the Eagles are going to stop and stop and stop. So
Rooney
I'm
Rule,
excited
yes,
for
thank
it.
you, Lee. So I'm taking Jonathan Taylor over 19 and a half rushes, and then Matt Ryan. So I hope his ankle holds up. If John Ndamukong Suh is known to be pretty dirty, he's probably going to try and do a little ankle lock or something and tweak it underneath the pile. But also Matt Ryan showed some wheels last week. Once he got out of the pocket,
Oh yeah,
yeah, I think he has
that's so good
confidence. He's
around
a
him.
good quarterback, but you can see he can't throw the ball as well down the field. So I'm going to take his over rushing yards at 2.5. Hopefully
That's
he gets at
fucking
least 5. So then when he does 3 kneel downs at the end of the game for the victory
yeah.
formation, or actually 6 yards. So then he does 3 kneel downs at the end of the game for victory
Well, you're
formation.
assuming that they're going to win too.
He'll end at 3.
Assuming that they're going to
Yeah,
win.
I'm sprinkling the Colts money line, baby.
Oh my god, that's actually crazy. Here's the thing. Listen,
That's not an official pick. It's just a little sprinkle. Just
one
so I
thing
can
I
get my
think is
Salt Bay
interesting
down.
is like the comparison with the Steelers and the Eagles. If you look at the underlying metrics, like the actual advanced metrics, they never favor the Steelers, but they favor the Eagles like really well. Like in terms of just overall passing the ball, they're really good. Running the ball, they're really good. Defending the pass, they're the best in the league
Right.
in most advanced analytics. So I'm gonna go against the public, and I'm gonna think the Eagles aren't frauds and beat the Colts.
All right. You,
So yeah,
you all heard it here first.
easy. All right, moving
And the
on. Bears, Falcons. Is this one in Atlanta? I can't remember now.
yes, it is
It is in Atlanta. I actually like the Bears +3 in this game. By the way, the last two plays were 2-unit plays. I like the Bears at +3. The Falcons' offense has not been really good the past couple of weeks, and that's in large due to Marcus Mariota not really playing as well as he did in the beginning of the season. That usually happens with these quarterbacks, and that has kind of affected the Falcons' run game as they've been able to stuff the box more. So because of that, it's because that the Falcons' offense has suffered and hasn't put as many points. They put 15 points against the Panthers' defense, which is really bad, and 17 points against the Chargers' defense, which is really bad. They do face another bad defense in the Bears, but I have a little more faith in the Bears' offense. Keep in mind, the Falcons also have just as bad, if not a worse, defense. Justin Fields is the opposite. He's gotten better over the course of the year. He's a good passer and probably the best running quarterback in the league right now. And the Bears offense has been really good the past couple of weeks. I expect them to continue that in this game and cover 3 spread. Both teams are very similar in terms of what they're good at and how they play. Both have a running quarterback, a mobile quarterback, bad defenses, and explosive offense. I just have a little more trust in the Bears offense, so I like them +3 in this one.
Yeah. The Bears have won 3 out of the last 4 against Atlanta, so I
Yeah.
like that pick. My pick on this game is under 49. They have
Yes,
two.
that's actually another one. That's something I was also going to say too. I think it's
Um,
a little inflated. Total's a little
yeah,
bit.
I mean, they do have explosive offenses, but they're both running offenses. So the
I
clock's
agree.
going to be running. Um, they'll start running inside zones if they get up, either team, whichever team gets up, to try and take more time off the clock. I think Atlanta's going to try and keep Chicago off the field just because Justin Fields is so
Yeah,
explosive. He can score
that's
on
what I was.
any play. Um, so, and with that, also, Khalil, Khalil Herbert, Bears, one of the Bears running back just got put on IR. So David Montgomery's over might be good. I'm gonna stay away from it. It's at 68 and a half. Um, I don't have what his rushes are that he might get a lot of touches. But I'm taking the under 49 there, and then Tyler Algier at over 33 and a half. So I was on him big before Patterson came back. Patterson came back, he became the RB1, but Algier still getting quite a bit of touches.
Yeah.
So I think he should get over that's at minus 120. Um, and then I'm back and forth on this because Cole Kmet is kind of becoming Justin Fields' favorite target. He has 11 catches in the past 3 weeks, 2 touchdowns. So obviously they're putting a spy on Justin Fields, and he's just able to dump it off whenever, wherever. And his over his over under is 25 yards. Um, I mean, I was 50-50 last week on my tight end picks. So same game parlay I'm looking at is over 2.5 catches and over 25 yards at minus 115 for commit. But because I have that under 49 and Algier over 33 and a half, I might try and live bet this. If his over 2.5 catches if the Bears get down, and his over 2.5 catches get better odds, I think they're minus 150 right now. I might just do a single bet on that. So my
By the
official
way,
picks on
by
this
the way,
game is Algier over 33 and a half.
by the way, if you know, Ecuador scored.
Yeah, I saw that. They're dominating. Ecuador is absolutely dominating.
Yeah, are
I
they?
think they have like
Yeah,
60%.
I never thought Qatar. Qatar isn't a really good team, though, aren't they?
No, they're not good.
Yeah,
They've never made the World Cup. They made the World Cup because they're the host team. I mean, I guess I think they've won. I did a little bit of research, but since 2006, the opening match has never lost in a World Cup. So they've drawn or won since 2006. Um, but
all
uh,
right. Anyways, moving
yeah,
on. My biggest play, my most confident play, is the Giants -3. My bad. -3. I had a +3 on here. -3 against the Lions. Um, and the Lions, they're not a terrible team, 2 straight wins now, but on the road, the Lions are really bad. The Lions, Jared Goff, and the offense, they're sixth overall according to DVOA at home, and then 17th or and then 21st on the road. What are you saying in the all right?
someone said that Matt Ryan didn't have that run on it. I said one could say he got on his horse.
Oh my god.
You slapping your
And
knee at that pun?
no, I'm not. And and basically, I remember what I was saying now. Oh yeah, the Lions rank eighth in DVOA at home offensively, and then 21st on the road. So their offense really takes a tumble on the road, especially Jared Goff, whose passer rating drops an insane amount. Um, so the Giants, I'm expecting them to win this game. I mean, they're at home, which we obviously know they're much better at home. Their offense is great at home. Saquon is great at home. The Lions defense, although it has shown an improvement, jumping from the 32nd best defense to the 28th best defense. Congrats, Lions. They're still not going to beat this Giants offense, which has been very good at home. The spread is a small spread, and for some reason, the market tends to really undervalue the Giants in a lot of games. So I'm loving -3. I don't think the Lions are going to be able to get much. I think Brian Dable and who's the Giants defensive coordinator? Can't remember now.
I'm
But
not sure.
the Giants have one of the best coached defenses in the league. They're going to be able to scheme Jared Goff very well. And I expect them to cover 3 at home pretty easily. I'll take that at a 4-unit play.
Um, yeah, so I think this over under. You're in New York. How bad is the weather there right now? Isn't it?
Cold as hell.
Yeah. So
It's
it's cold, and I think there's supposed to be 30-mile-an-hour winds. My brother sent me that as well.
right.
So over, I think the over is at what's it at right now? 45. I think that's just because the Lions are such a high scoring offense. But with 30-mile-an-hour wind, they're not going to be able to throw the ball. So that takes out uh St. Brown, that takes out Jared Goff, and their
Yeah.
big playability. I was gonna go with Saquon Barkley's rushing, but he's posted 100, and I don't know
Well, yeah,
why.
I remember the
Like,
play I put in last week against the Texans. He was insane against the Texans last week.
yeah, but
Who did the Texans play this week? The Commanders. Oh yeah, we're
yeah, I got that.
also
I
actually
got a
I'm actually putting a play in right now,
oh
making it right now. Brian Robinson over rushing yards. I don't know what his total is right now,
for who?
but I'm literally fading the Texans every week with this. I'm actually putting.
Okay, well we'll get there. Let's finish with the
Yeah, I'm putting
um.
it in now.
But yeah, so Saquon's rushing attempts is 21 and a half, and they're expecting him to get 5 yards a rush. So they his rushing yards is 121 and a half rushing attempts at minus 130. So I'm gonna do that at a unit. Again, with 30-mile-an-hour wind, I don't think they're gonna throw the ball that much. Um, Daniel Jones over 6.5. I'm gonna put a half a unit at that, and then under. So I guess I have quite a bit of units on this game. So Daniel Jones over 6.5 rushing attempts. I just don't see them throwing the ball, especially in 20 degree weather, 30-mile-an-hour wind. Um, and then under under 45 for that game.
This is annoying. All right, hold on. I'm trying to get Brian Robinson's things, but
Uh,
they have 64 and a half at minus 145. I don't like those odds. I always never like 145 odds. But
Let me look. You can do alternate.
yeah, I know, but the alt unless that's if I want to do same game parlay. But besides that, you can only do like 50 plus or the 75 plus.
So you want to talk about the Commanders game next?
No, I'm not gonna talk about the Commanders game next. I'm actually gonna talk about the Patriots game next. Probably the best game of this early slate.
Yeah.
Patriots won last time, and they're gonna win again. They're at home. Zach Wilson,
14 straight. You think it's
yeah,
gonna happen?
Zach Wilson's a garbage quarterback, and Bill Belichick is off of both teams are off a bye week, but I think it's going to favor the Patriots more. I think Zach Wilson is going to struggle immensely, and I think Belichick will be smart enough to press the box or stuff the box. I don't expect the Jets will have little success on the ground because Belichick is very good at making offenses one dimensional. I think he's going to force the Jets to throw, and you don't want Zach Wilson throwing on the Patriots secondary. Um, One thing I am a bit concerned about is the Patriots offense. They're really not a good offense, and they have to play one of the best teams and one of the best defenses. The Jets rank sixth in overall defense. So I'm not going to take this at a huge play, but I'm going to be pretty confident with it. Belichick's going to find a way at home. He owns the Jets. Patriots -3. I'm also going to take a play on the under 38 as uh I don't think the Patriots offense will be able to get going or the Jets offense. What I do think could happen, like it's kind of did last game with the Jets and the Patriots, is the field position will be good enough off of like a pick, and then the Patriots will kick a field goal. I think that happened 3 times last game. And the under last game almost didn't hit because of it. I locked in the under, but it still ended up hitting. But those are my 2 plays in that game.
Yeah, 30. It's just so low. 38 set, but
It is
obviously it's
low.
Bill Belichick. I just like Aaron Rodgers says he owns the Bears. Bill Belichick owns the Jets. They've won 13 straight. They're
Yes.
both coming off a bye, so they're fairly rested. That kind of is another reason I'm going. I'm not playing the under. Obviously New England just got smacked in like that area of the states. But I don't have any official picks on this. Jets wide receiver Davis is out. Jacoby Myers has 9 catches for 60 yards, or had 9 catches for 60 yards last week. He has 4 straight games in the division with 50 or more yards. So he obviously the division, you game plan and you know your division a little bit better. Um, his over under receiving yards is 48 and a half. So that's a lean for me. But other than that, I don't really have too many plays on this. Mac Jones rushing yards is 9.5. That's pretty low in my opinion. He likes to run for sure. But again, if I would have to make a pick, my two leans are Mac Jones over 9.5 and Jacoby Myers over 48.5. But
All
those
right.
are not official picks.
Um, and yeah, that's actually all I have. So I didn't have put up a ton of picks, but those are my favorite picks. And I think those are, I'm honestly very confident in these picks. I think there's nice picks. By the way, 3 units for Patriot spread, 2 units for the under. So that's what I have for both of those. Other than that, I was looking again, Brian Robinson. If you can get the number at like better odds, like if they're offering you on FanDuel 66.5, or I bet you could probably just go on you could just make a same game parlay, make something like super obvious to hit, like a minus 20,000 bet, and then just parlay it with uh
I
Brian
mean,
Robinson's rush yards.
his alt total is 75 or more is plus 160. You think
That
he
actually is not a bad play too. If you want to take that at a small play, I would take Yak. That's a good play. Was it 75 plus?
yeah.
I'll take Brian Robinson's 75 plus rush yards at 1 unit.
Let me see.
Let's lock it in.
So you don't have any. So I'm gonna go to the Saints and the Rams.
I didn't like
Um,
anything for that game. I don't know. I didn't
I
like
don't
anything.
like I don't like any. I mean, they're both probably not going to make the playoffs. I think the Saints have an outside chance just because their division is so bad. Like the Bucks are in the first, and that's embarrassing.
No, the
Um,
the Bucks are actually a pretty good team. Even though they've lost, they're a pretty good team if you look
man,
at
you stamping your New England Brady,
uh,
loving on Brady, just
they're gonna make
hating
they're
on the Colts. I mean, you're a true New Englander, aren't you?
they're gonna win the division.
I have the Colts on the outside chance making the playoffs now.
No, they're not an
If they
outside
can
chance.
play up to their
They're not an
ability,
outside.
if they can play to their ability, and Jonathan
No, they're
Taylor
not.
stays
The
healthy.
Titans own them. Titans own the Colts, and
Well,
they forever.
yeah, the Titans are going to win the division, but doesn't mean that the Colts won't make the playoffs.
All right,
Uh,
they beat the worst defense in the league. Congrats, congrats. Yeah,
um, so I like well, I don't like that, but that Cooper Cup got hurt. Um,
yeah. No,
he's
that
obviously
that affects that offense.
so Van Jefferson is going to be QB or wide receiver one. I mean, yes, you have Tyler
Van
Higbee, Allen
Jefferson's back.
Robinson, do up.
Van Jefferson's back. I know he was
Yeah.
injured a lot at the beginning of the season.
So so the ball is going to be spread around. Tyler Higbee over 4.5 catches at minus 150. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Um, Van
Stafford.
Jefferson, Van Jefferson over 3.5 is at plus 100. So I do again not a fan of that. I was hoping I could get like over 2.5 at maybe minus 130, minus 140.
But do you know if
Uh,
Matthew Stafford is playing? Because I don't.
yeah.
Didn't it like fluctuate a decent amount? Okay.
So he is back, but again, he has that elbow injury. He's coming off of a concussion, so he's never really been hurt. I mean, he got hit all the time when he was with the Lions, but he never really had a serious injury.
Yeah.
And you can tell his elbow has been affecting him. I think that happened like week 3 or so. It's taken a lot
His,
of
his elbow's been a thing since before the season.
oh, that's right. He had surgery, and he
Yeah.
said it wasn't that. Yeah, that's right. Um, but clearly is. But so on this, I did like so Tyler Higbee over is 44.5. I do like that, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plug on Van Jefferson at over 3.5 catches at plus 100 for this game.
All right. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good.
And
We got a lot.
then I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the Ravens and the Panthers?
I had a play for that game, and now I don't. Originally, I was like, so The spread, I was gonna look at the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers plus 13, just because it's such a big spread. And I feel like the Panthers haven't been very incompetent. But if you look at the numbers and you look at like how good the Ravens are, they're easily the better team.
Right.
So I don't like really taking the Panthers spread, but I also wanted to take the under originally. Just because both teams, especially the Panthers with Foreman's kind of like the big power guy who's just
He's
gonna pump.
dominating now that
Yeah,
he's always been a good like a Derrick Henry type back. He's not as big
I
as him,
know.
but
That's what it kind of is.
he's a bowling ball.
He has a Derrick Henry role right now. And
Exactly.
I think that slows down the game a bit. But the Ravens also are a really good run team. So I thought like I was thinking both teams were going to run the ball. I was going to take the under, but it's a low total, and the Ravens are still a very good passing team. So I ended up steering away from it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. The fact that I mean, but the thing is the Ravens have only allowed an average of 68 rushing yards the last 3 games, which is kind of insane. And that's right where Foreman's over unders at 56 and a half. And they're the second best rush defense. So I was like, I want to pick him just because I like old style run down the middle running backs, but
yeah,
I can't find his attempts. His attempts at 13 and a half. So I'm gonna go with that. Over 13 and a half rushing
that's
attempts.
a good play because that's like their
And
offense.
it's minus 120. Yeah. Um,
The thing is,
so
the Bengals did something where they kind of like took him out of the game. Like I don't even know what they did, but like
right. And that's the thing is if they get behind early, then
yeah.
they're obviously gonna have to abandon the game. But I think they're gonna try and set a precedence on that first drive. The first drive's gonna mean everything. Also, another lean on me is Damian Pierce over 100 all-purpose yards or total yards rushing and receiving.
But
Because
who
if he gets
Damian?
102, it's kind of like the Algier play. Um, People say they don't look at the stats, but social media is everywhere, and he has to know. So if he gets 102 yards today, he'll be the third Texan ever to reach 1,000 total yards in his first 10 games.
Oh, really?
So he's at. I mean, he's leading the rookies in rushing yards at 772. So the Texans, that's why I'm kind of leaning towards the under of that Commanders Texans game, just because they're both going to be running the ball a lot.
Yeah.
You saw yesterday the unders hit a lot in college football. Um,
College,
but
I only really had 2 plays yesterday for college football. I've been
right.
sick. I'm able to get a lot of plays in, but
Um, but so yeah, so I'm gonna stay away from that. Damien, if he has a poor first quarter and it's a close game, then I might try and live bet it. But other than that, I'm gonna stick with these plays.
yeah, I mean, I like that. I like what we have today. I like what I have today.
Yeah,
I was looking at the numbers. I did some good research in these games. I feel like I need to get back. I mean, I've only had like 3 plays from Thursday to Saturday, but I'm still up. I think I'm up 6 units.
yeah. You pushed yesterday. You pushed the UCLA game yesterday, and then you won
The Oregon, and then I
yeah.
won on Thursday Night Football with Tennessee.
That was yeah. I don't know why I didn't make that an official pick. I had it. I mean, that was guaranteed almost plus 3.5. That's another team that
That was
Vegas
me
is not
picking.
like. I don't know how they have been. I mean, the Titans have covered their last 8 games.
I mean, I'd also the under. Your pick, the under. That was a good pick. I don't know how that didn't. That was a weird game.
Oh yeah,
Didn't hit.
that's right. I went with the under instead because you had the plus 3. I always try to give something that you didn't. I should have said 3.5 and under.
Yeah,
But since you picked that, I always try to. But yeah, that was the under. That was
yeah.
that the other time. The Texans, I had the under. What was it? The Texans and Patriots, and they scored like 28 points in the fourth quarter a few weeks ago. That was
No,
one of my highlights.
Browns,
Yeah,
Patriots.
that was a garbage game
I
too.
remember that. And you were like, let's go. I'm about to
Yeah, it was like a 99% chance in the
Yeah,
beginning of
it
the
was.
fourth
And then like the
quarter.
Patriots scored like 4 touchdowns. That
Awesome.
was nuts.
Do you want to
Yeah.
recap?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick recap for everyone in the Zoom. And if you guys aren't on VIP, just DM us. We'll send you the plays. Let me do the quick recap. Bills minus 7.5 against the Browns. Browns have a terrible defense. Bounce back game for the Bills. And they've won by 10 or more in 23 of their 30 games. Eagles -6.5. That's also a 2-unit play. Colts, look at the advanced analytics. The Eagles are not the Steelers, and the Eagles have an advantage over the Colts everywhere.
Look at you going with the analytics.
Yeah, it is. I'm always an analytic guy. Taylor won't be able to do anything. I like the Eagles to cover here. Bears +3 at Atlanta. Both offenses have been explosive this season, have been pretty good. Both defenses have been bad, but the Bears offense should be a little more trusted if we just look at the past couple of weeks. Bears +3 at a 2-unit play. Giants -3 at a 4-unit play. They're at home where they're their best, and the Lions are on the road where they are their worst. The Lions are offense drops a lot. Jared Goff's passer rating drops completely. And I'm expecting the Giants at home to really punch it. Saquon Barkley is going to get a lot of touches. I think Daniel Jones will have a good game. And I think the Giants at home will win and cover against a kind of a rebuilding Lions team. Patriots or Jets at Patriots. I have the Patriots to cover the spread. 13 straight wins. Their Belichick's going to make
you should know all the spots.
Do you know all the spots?
I'll know all the spots. I'll get all the spots. I got it. Anyway, so Patriots. I remember what I was saying. The Patriots defense should lock down Zach Wilson like they did last time. And they did it in New York that last time. The Patriots have the second best passing defense. Belichick will probably scheme up that run game to make sure James Robinson doesn't get a lot of yards and those running backs don't get many yards. And they'll force Zach Wilson to beat them, which is never good. I'm not as confident in the Patriots offense, but I'm still liking the Patriots to cover here. I also like the under, although it is a very low total. This is going to be a defensive masterclass. And then final play, we're ending it with the player prop. Brian Robinson, 75+ rush yards. Is that +160?
I forget. I think it was I don't think it was that high.
I think it was pretty good. Yeah, +160.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, dang. So I didn't realize it was that high.
Brian Robinson, 75+ rush yards. We get great odds at +160. We're taking that at a 1-unit play. Let's have a week.
Awesome. I'm glad to see you coming back. Yeah. Glad you got your phone fixed. I think I'm assuming you got it fixed. Got a new one. Nice. So I think a few weeks ago I talked about Wong teaser, WONG. So we have I'll post exactly what that is. But there is one. I know people are trying to 12 o'clock is coming around. But gonna tease the Bills at -1 with the Jets at +9. And that gives us a -120. So basically you buy units one way or the other to get, like we talk about, better. You reach the threshold. So you make it within a field goal, you make it outside of a touchdown. So that's gonna be a 1-unit play. The Bills -1 teased and the Jets teased the +9. So you parlay that together, you get a -120 odds. So basically, you pass through 3 and 7, which we talked about last week, how those are the thresholds. That's kind of like if it's 6.5, we say to buy a point or buy a half a point if you can. So I'm going to go with Algier at over 33.5. He's with the Falcons, -120. Again, Cole Kmet is a lean right now at over 2.5 catches. I'm going to probably live bet him after the first quarter if he doesn't have any. Jonathan Taylor's going to run it down and give the Eagles their second loss of the season back to back.
No,
they are the Pittsburgh Steelers. So over 19.5 rushing yards, or sorry, not rushing yards. Of course, he's going to get more than 19 rushing yards. If he doesn't, then I will pour a cold bucket of water on my head for you, Sam. So in my fantasy league, we do water bet. So if you say my running back's gonna have more than you, or my team's gonna beat yours, and if you lose, we have to do a water bet. Just dump water on you in various aspects. So I will do a water bet for you if Jonathan Taylor doesn't get more than 20 yards rushing. But yeah, I'm gonna put a little sprinkle on the Colts money line at +230. kind of garbage that they are 6.5-point underdogs at home. So again, with like the hook or the analytics, if they were an away team, that means that Vegas is looking at them to be 10 to 11 points underdogs. So you add 3 or 4 points in that aspect. So I'm gonna sprinkle the Colts money line just because I didn't do it last week when you faded them, and obviously that was a winner on my end if I did.
Colts fans beat the worst defense in the league and don't know how to act. These problems again, and all of a sudden, the Colts are great.
Hey, we made a grown man cry, so I appreciate the passion that the Raiders have. That's what I'm saying. Wait, from the Broncos game today, just because it very well could be a passionate game that the Colts had last week.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Justin Fields against the Falcons? My bad if I Fields is we have the under of that, right? What did we put?
We have both. We spread Bears +3 and under.
Yeah, so we're staying away from Justin Fields player prop on that. He dominating. I mean, he just broke all quarterback rushing records in like a two back-to-back games. So truthfully, I don't know. It very well could go for another 125 yards, but I'm assuming that the Falcons are going to have a spy on him and just basically have their middle linebacker or a nickel come down and just kind of just go wherever he goes. He has to actually his overpassing attempts might be a good play. I haven't looked at that just because if they take him out of the run, they're going to force him to beat them through the air, and he has proven that he can't win with his arm yet. So, I mean, those odds are good. 73 at -107. That's not too terrible of odds. But I personally am not playing that.
Yeah. So that'll be it. I just want to make one.
So I got a few more. So the Bears have under.
I'm bugging, bro. My bad.
Bears have under 49. Then I have Daniel Jones, the Giants quarterback, at over 6.5 rushing yards. I think that's super low. Saquon Barkley at over 21.5 rushing attempts. And then I have under the Bears and Lions at under 45. So again, we'll post these. If you are not in the VIP, send us a DM and we can, if you're on this call, we'll give you our plays just for being on the call with us.
All right. Yeah, that's a big quick thing.
Deontay Foreman over 13.5 rushes as well. Last one.
There it is. Yeah, just quick thing. I think there's one or two people here in my investment pool just recognizing their names. I haven't been able to get a ton of plays out this week. I have been good the past couple of days just because of like I've hit on the plays I have put in. But just because I've been sick, it's been a little slower. And I haven't been able to push as many as I usually do. But don't worry, I will make up for it and I'll speed it up.
Whoa, we got Robert Mathis in here. Look at that. Another Colts Ring of Honor guy.
I did not understand that at all.
So Robert Mathis is a retired Colts D end.
Is he actually?
Yeah. I don't know if this is the actual guy. It might just be a namesake, but
obviously, actually, yeah.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Are you the Colts D end?
Retired D
end? Are you the Colts D end?
Do you want to explain a little bit about your investment pool for people? I mean, that might help. Who asked?
I can explain a bit of it. I mean, yeah.
So, who asked?
It's a little bit.
Glinda asked. So yeah, so Sam runs an investment pool for people that don't have the time to play, to put in, because it is a lot of work. I mean, it's about, but yeah.
Well, not only just for people that don't have enough. It's also a big problem with sports betting. A lot of people want to do it, and a lot of people who want to make money off of it. It's illegal in a lot of their states. So like, also just makes it like a little easier for people who like are in illegal states, especially because sometimes there's some sketchy sites you don't want to use, like
DraftKings.
Yeah, DraftKings is pretty sketchy. So is FanDuel. They're not really great. No, but no, those are fine because those are only legal in like 19 states. He's huge. So not the Colts D end. Not the Colts.
Continue with your investment pool talk.
Oh yeah, but a lot of sketchy. There's like bookie sites, and just from what I've heard, they're not great to use. So instead, I just run an investment pool. It's kind of like, I don't want to get into too many of the logistics right now because I don't like really talking about that. I've said this like 100 times because I have to take every new person. But basically, it's a good way to make money. I have trusted picks. Usually, the time frame, I think the one thing to just be aware about is the time frame can vary. So like there have been times I've gotten back investors' money very quickly just because I've done really well. It's like everything comes in waves. So there's not always, I'm not always going to get this amount of results, this amount of days. It's not that consistent. Although the long-term result is consistent, it's always an uptrend, of course. There's still no exact think of it like a stock chart. Like it goes
exactly.
like da, 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 da. So that's kind of how I do it too. And yeah, that usually, and this is the thing that like honestly it can be a little difficult because I get a lot of messages about it, and it's like the time frame can vary. So there really is, if it's taking a little long, I apologize. That could be because I'm losing it, could be because there's something going on. But yeah, just keep that in mind. It's been relatively successful. I haven't had anyone be unsatisfied with it so far. It's a new concept. It's been here for like 5 months now. So yeah, but yeah, definitely DM me about all the logistics. And I can like kind of get them in because it's a lot of stuff and I have to go and read it again.
Right. And yeah, if you're new here, invite your friends every Sunday morning. We try to go live around 11:15 for 45 minutes. We try to end around noon. With our Colts plays, I put a tinfoil cap on. I like to think that some sports are rigged.
I think no, they honestly are.
So right. I mean, you can see how yes, Buffalo got dumped, but they could have cleared that stadium. It's just Vegas was getting slammed with the under. So they're like, hey, let's just move it and then we can refund and not refund some bets. But yeah,
but I don't, that my thing that I was confused about is how would they even play in that much snow? Isn't that like in ton of snow?
I mean, no, they'll put
is the Bills thing a dome?
No, it's out. They'll just have they have massive snow blowers, and I mean they'll just scrape the snow off. And a lot of these stadiums have like a little, they'll put like heater coils underneath, and so it melts throughout the.
Is it still snowing right now?
I don't know. I know they got 6 feet. Like I don't know if you saw that video of the Bills lineman, his like neighbors had to come. It was like 4 feet of snow, just like enclosed his car, and they had to like dig his car out.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so please, like I said, we're live, but we give plays almost every day, whether it's college basketball, college football,
NBA,
tennis, NFL, MLB. Last week, and like Sam said, it's not always a guaranteed winning week. Last week, I had a day that I went 0-7, which was mind-boggling. I've had days where I've went 7-0, but the uptrend is there, just like a stock chart. So last week was my first losing week in 6 weeks.
Exactly.
I think since we've been doing this, I think it's been about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We are recording these videos. They're going on YouTube. So if you want to go back and look at them, you can go to our the YouTube page. But yeah, so let's have a great NFL Sunday. Looks like Ecuador has a penalty, and it's up 2-0 going into halftime. So so dang, it's a violent game. 16 fouls in the first half of the game. So
yeah. I mean, again, let's have another week. I personally, Jacob maybe is on the bad end of the week, but I have not had a losing week, an official losing week in 6 weeks. So I'm hoping to continue that streak this week. And I'm confident this week. I'm really confident this week. So
you didn't put out as many picks as you normally do. So
no, I didn't.
Must be pretty confident.
Yeah.
So is there any other questions? If not, enjoy your last Sunday. We might, we might try and go live Thursday morning for the Thanksgiving games.
There's like 3 of them, right?
Yeah, there's 3, and then there's a couple of college games as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll have a couple plays on.
And
actually, I'll be at my brother's house, so see if he can go on live, get on live with him. He basically helped me get started in this, and he's an analytics guy as well. I'm a little bit more go with my heart. He's
That's
numbers
true.
through and through.
I like it. So I'm more of a numbers guy too. So then that means
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're heartless. You go against the Colts. Like I thought we are supposed to be partners in this, and you're just blasting my team every week.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys.
Awesome. You'll have a great Sunday.
Thank you.